What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop into the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah.
And of course, guys, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, right? Kick back, relax, talk some Dallas Cowboy news. You have a few things from yesterday to catch up on as well. Had some family stuff going on, so, took it a little easy, along with the fact that the Cowboys obviously were, a little quieter than usual, guys. Again, we're heading up the last final days here of the pre-training camp time, the calm before the storm. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing our Dallas Cowboys hitting the field here. We're getting closer and closer. But first, before we talk about all our thoughts and feelings and the news and the info, the updates, we got to shout out the people who helped make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. So thank you very much to our current sponsor of the week.
Ooh.
A big mahalo to Mark Hosepian.
Hell yeah, Big Mark, who's also got 99 points, the Chauncey Golston points on the Stream Boss. He's our sponsor of the week, and the all-time record holder there, streak holder, 15 in a row. He's got one right now under his belt as far as the streaks are concerned. Starting a new one, maybe. We'll see. And also, who's the Cash App King, baby?
Jason Renfro, representing. Much love to him.
Yeah, the latest jersey raffle winner for our 6-year anniversary special. Much love, much appreciation to him.
And Mark was not only the sponsor of the week, he's also still repping it as the Stream Boss with 99 points.
Yep, yeah, we hit that up. And then he's on right now. He was second place, I guess Tuesday when we kicked off our week. But, into the week, he was second place. He was right there in second, but we had a drop today from somebody who now is in first place in the Cash App. SnugX dropping the $20 holler.
Shout out to you, Snug.
Much love to Snug.
You, of course.
With that pre-stream drop there, he puts him in second place on the overall board, first in the Cash App side. So yeah, Jason Renfro got a battle back for that top spot. Now, but I will say one thing, baby, there is another $2 holler drop by the man staying skeptical fan, and with that drop that he did today in our Jalen Tolbert video. That keeps him in first place on the overall board. Gifting membership leader. Again, back-to-back months for Skeptical Fan. Much love to him. But now he's going for his third month, and he's got a lead. Once again, he's got 22 gifted memberships. Jason Renfro is up there with like 3, I think. We'll see how this goes. I think we're going for a three-peat here. Something I wish our Cowboys in the 90s would do. Maybe our Cowboys this decade can do it. Much love to Skeptical Fan on that gifting membership board. And not just there, but he's also in that star-level membership, along with Jason Renfro, Dwayne Brassard, LC, or Lincoln Kane from Australia.
Mary Alvarez.
And Mary Alvarez, of course. And now another person in the Navy Blue crew, Tommy Montoya has become a member. Why? Because of the man that stays skeptical.
Thank you so much, Skeptical. Man. Much love to you. Appreciate you showing the love and the support. And remember, guys, if you do get a gifted membership, you can choose to, extend that membership, upgrade it, whatever you want to do there. So,
you can also gift memberships once you're in the membership, right? There's also that option. So there's always that. But Tommy Montoya, welcome in, and much love from the man, Skeptical Fan, who has that thanks drop, and now a gifted membership drop as well here. So appreciate him and keeping him easily in first place. Scorpio
dropping his member
wanted to make sure he got to say what his repping, and that's our Cowboys. What did he say? Let's say it loud and proud.
He said, "Go Cowboys!"
Go Cowboys! Oh, hell yeah! Much love, Scorpio.
So of course, shouted out to people, gave the love, the appreciation. There's a few ways, of course, to put yourself up on this board, right? You saw Skeptical Fan flexing it there with that membership, gifting. You have, of course, a regular super chat. You have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at MyCowboysFamily, regular PayPal link. You have Streamlabs, all that good stuff, guys. Again, appreciate everyone showing the love and the support these last days, weeks, months, years.
As we're rolling right into this, guys, we got less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks for training camp. Yes,
that's why I said
it's here. It's here, baby.
It's getting so
right
exciting.
around the corner.
And there was actually some kind of interesting info that we found out behind the scenes. Not really too behind the scenes, but we've been trying to figure out some, free agent moves, situations, right? Or kind of questions that we had that we finally got maybe some answers for.
If you see the title on our description tonight, it says free agency, free agent updates there. There's a reason for that. It's a specific guy we were looking at, an MCF favorite that's out there in the free agency on the offensive line. We got some inside info on that, so it's coming here on My Cowboys Family. Yes, you already shouted this out, maybe the drops of love. Of course, there's also the super chats, the memberships, the gifted membership, the thanks, and on and on.
One set of shout-outs left to do, baby, before we kick it off.
The chat. Who's in the house?
Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical. Much love to the membership man. So we need to think of a better title for that, because I want something with alliteration there. We'll figure it out. So Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas. Of course, Scorpio representing. Eric Wallace, much love to you. Tommy Montoya, enjoy your newly gifted membership there.
He's had it a couple times, I think.
Yes, he has. Double R, what's up? Much love.
Double R in the house.
We have Stephen White in the house.
Hi.
Byron Bradley, always Dallas Cowboys for life.
Yeah.
Asmodeus, all the way from Memphis.
Memphis
much love
representation.
To you.
Much love to Asmodeus. Always dropping knowledge.
We have even lead commander. Right, he had to come and talk some real football.
He's kind of trying to be a Cowboy fan. Say every Cowboy is a Hall of Famer, getting a Hall of Fame jacket. They're jealous. 5 is greater than 3. You guys know the Washington Commanders, whatever their name is this year. You know how that goes.
Jay Duncan always raising middle fingers to Eagle fans. That's like a reflex, right? Just walk by and it just boop, pops up on its own.
Listen, we have a Washington Commander fan in the house, so tell them, say "Go Cowboys" for us by dropping.
Show the proper respect as a Cowboy.
The commies emoji there, yeah.
Oh, Mario Roberts, what's up? Freedom first. He was first.
First again, hey.
First again. So, let me see here. I think that's everybody here so far. So, guys, again, huge shout out to you all. Thanks for hanging with us, and baby, obviously we have, like I said, quite a few things to touch on here. Shout out once again to all the pre-stream love from Snug and Skeptical and everyone else.
Yeah, and let's get it on here on MCF. So, we want 6. I think we all knew that already. But let's go and wish a happy birthday to Deron Bland, an important piece, second-year guy, an important piece of this defense heading into this season. Gonna have to play a role there for Jordan Lewis, and maybe I think he's already taken that role over as a slot nickel cornerback. Happy birthday, Deron Bland, to another great season here in 2023. Now, NFL news. Let's go through it real quick. NFL keeps moving towards Roger Goodell's goal. Now, Roger Goodell set a goal that by 2027 he wants the annual revenue for the NFL to be at $25 billion a year. You know what hey, follow the money. Right, if he gets another contract extension, this is why. I just want to throw it out there, And by the way, it has nothing to do with the salary cap, but why not make the salary caps bigger? If they're making this much money, that players get more money, but you could also use that money and build your team better, right? So
do you ever start
let's go. Let's do this. Come on, NFL. What are you doing?
At this point, it just sounds like Monopoly money.
I know.
Like
the numbers are too high already. $25 billion with a B.
Sorry, Tim Pennell. Thank you for summing it up.
Welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, welcome to the family right here on MCF. So, as we keep it going, we heard about Goodell's plan. It looks like it's definitely getting to that point, guys. Now, Damar Hamlin, if you guys watched the ESPYs last night, Damar Hamlin was brought to tears when he was presenting the Pat Tillman Award for Service. And he presented that, of course, to his Buffalo Bill training staff that saved his life yesterday at the ESPYs Award. And again, it was a video tribute to the announcing of the Bills athletic training staff as these recipients. And, Hamlin was visibly emotional, crying on stage with his team there, the training staff, medical staff. So, again, a fantastic situation to saving his life. He knows he might have been there if it wasn't for these people. So, again, that was celebrated. Hopefully everybody get to see that yesterday. Now, more NFL news. NFL Films now officially. They were following Micah Parsons around the other day when he was in Harrisburg, giving back. But NFL and the NFL Films have selected their team, baby, for Hard Knocks. Do you know who it is?
Not the Cowboys.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And we had predicted this. It was either them or the Commanders with all the stuff going on, but the Commanders are boring.
Yeah, the Jets definitely were, I think, the favorite pick for very obvious reasons. And even I have to admit, I'm a little excited to see it just because it's hard to picture Aaron Rodgers with anyone but the Packers. Yeah.
Well, now he's in another team that's green team. He likes the green, I think. But the point is,
he sure does.
Aaron Rodgers now, I think, is, it's going to be interesting to see the behind the scenes. So I'm going to be watching.
Does ayahuasca come in green?
It comes in brown, green. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. That's what I heard. Listen, the point is that Aaron Rodgers, followed around by cameras, he's not going to have the privacy he always wanted, right? And all I'm going to say is this. We all know the curse of the Hard Knocks and all that stuff, but think about this for a second. Mm-hmm. Really early in the season, right after those cameras are pulled away from his face, after the Giants, we play the Giants week 1, we play the Jets in Dallas and Aaron Rodgers week 2. So we'll know a little bit behind the scenes stuff that's been kind of boiling because, whoever's watching, Hard Knocks, we kind of keeping in touch with what's going on with that team and the details and the specifics a little bit easier, right? When you see what's going on behind the scenes with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. So that's an opponent for us week 2. I'm watching really for that reason, mainly. I mean, I want to see what they got coming to the table, 2 weeks before our game. This is the last time the cameras will be there. That's close enough to give us an idea of what they got brewing back there. And I also will say this, again, the Commanders was the other team that was up there. The Bears. I was hoping the Commanders would maybe make it because then we get a deeper look, a better look at what's going on behind their scenes because that's important to me and you guys when it comes to our Cowboys. Now, we play them twice in a season. So, again, it would have been a win-win with either of those two teams. We got the Jets. It's going to be more fun, but it's still important week 2, get a little insight on what they're doing, right? So the Jets had a lot of news going on because today that was yesterday was announced. Today, the Jets announced All-Pro defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. This is a guy that I know Mark Hovsepian loved. I know I love him. A lot of you guys like this guy, but he's a high draft pick. He's they were on the outs. They agreed to terms finally. So he's now he's got a huge mega deal, $96 million, 4 years, $96 million. This is for a defensive tackle.
Big pivot there.
Yeah, it's a one tech right here. That's a lot of money for the one techs. And again, guys, the largest second contract ever for a defensive tackle. He gets $66 million in guarantees. This deal was negotiated by one of the up and coming female agents there, Nicole Lynn. We've heard her name before. So again, guys, the Jets, they're in business now. They got a defensive tackle, Quinnen Williams. He's a monster in the inside, in the middle. So Cowboys be dealing with him week 2 as well. We'll be seeing him and Aaron Rodgers behind the scenes. All right. So moving on to another New York team that's of course much more important to us. It's our week 1 opponent, the New York Giants. And this is going to take us into what we're going to talk about a little bit more tonight. But think about it, guys. We played the Giants week 1, and they might be without Saquon Barkley. Now, you guys know the deadline, as we're going to discuss here for Tony Pollard, the franchise tag, the tag deadlines are coming around the corner here. I think the last chance to strike a long-term deal for any of these franchise tag players is Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's it. That's simple. Numbers right there. But again, guys, Saquon Barkley, he said he wants to get a long-term deal. Both sides are at a stalemate. That's every report that's out there. Saquon has made it clear, by the way, this is multiple reports saying this, that the franchise tag is undesirable, and according to all reports, his availability for the week 1 game against the Dallas Cowboys is in serious question if he does not get a long-term deal from the Giants.
So basically, he's
going to sit out week 1.
You know, that I have to admit, Saquon Barkley has some serious fucking balls, and he's definitely taking a page out of the Ezekiel Elliott playbook.
Hey, did we play them week 1, I think?
Love
that year?
We did, basically, because we basically outside of like 1 year, we played the Giants pretty much every year.
Now it's the other way. Now the shoe's on the other foot. That was us with Zeke, and we were like, it was down to the wire, you get suspended or not. Or there was a suspension one year. Another year it was the contract said, hold out. Now it's the same thing with the Giants and Barkley. And look, I think it's different times now. So he's going to lose a lot more money, Saquon, than Zeke ever did by threatening to sit out or sitting out. So, any thoughts on by the family on that, or do we want to keep moving? Because now we're going to get Tony Pollard.
Let's kind of keep it rolling there, but yeah, definitely surprising there.
Yeah, so Saquon's using leverage. He's trying to scare the Giants into like, hey, give me a long-term deal. I'm not playing on this franchise tag. Let's go to the important running back that's on the franchise tag. And he signed it, sealed it, and delivered it, and he's ready to play, and that's Tony Pollard. That's the only guy we care about. He's going to be there week 1, even with that ankle or that leg, the broken leg there. He should be 100% to go week 1 against the Giants. So the question now is, baby, we talked about this multiple times throughout the offseason, especially more recently, the last month or so. Long-term deal. Tony Pollard supposedly wants a long-term deal. The Cowboys are thinking about a long-term deal with a running back. What? So we know the issue that happened with Zeke, and you ran him through the ground. That's on the front office more than it was on Zeke to me. But that's bad management by the front office. You pay a guy this much money at running back, and then you run him through the ground. So we'll see what happens with Pollard. He's here for 1 year at least. We'll see. We have till Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time to see if Pollard gets a long-term deal. So the Cowboys and Tony Pollard are approaching this Monday franchise tag deadline to agree on a long-term contract extension. But does it make sense for Pollard to take a long-term deal? Does it make sense for the Cowboys to get a long-term deal with him? So right now, guys, the word is how much should the Cowboys offer? What should it be? And look, we don't know what the right price for Tony Pollard contract should be. You can say if he's getting 10.1, do that. You give him $33 million for 3 years. You guarantee a year and a half of it.
Throughout the last few weeks, we've thrown out a handful of different numbers that could possibly work for Pollard, but I still feel like the foundational point is this. If both sides are even semi-interested in trying to work something out for a little bit longer, it benefits both sides to try and work and extend it to a long-term deal, because now the Cowboys are not spending a little bit too much at a position that's already slightly questionable for them. Tony Pollard obviously gets hopefully the security and guarantee of more money than just the 1 year franchise tag / I know I'm going to be here at least for the next 2-ish years. So there's definitely a few different ways where I think this benefits both sides. Big question mark to me is more, and I brought this up then, McCarthy's scheme. So, because a lot of this does depend on how much / how well McCarthy ends up using Pollard. If the Cowboys are confident McCarthy can bring out the best in him, feels like a win all the way around.
The way I look at this is that, to me, it's like, does it make sense for either side? Listen, Tony Pollard, if he has a great year this year and holds it, doesn't take any kind of deal, he might be getting $12 or $13 million a year somewhere else next year, because I think he's going to look a little Deebo Samuel-ish, right? So I think people are going to say, ooh, okay, let's give him a try. Assuming there's no injuries, nothing, he doesn't have a bad year. If he has even just a decent year, like 1,200 yards, that's going to be, he's going to hit bank, and that's going to give him more than doing a long-term deal now with the Cowboys. At the same time, when you look at the Cowboys, and we've said this before, very rarely is there a running back you're going to pay. If anybody right now in this day and age, you're going to pay a running back big money to stay on your, to be in a 4, 5, 6 year. Hell no, guys. Running backs don't even last that long. The only reason Pollard's still on his 2 feet, and that's barely after the playoff game. He's only been in the league 4 years. So you sign up for a 2 or 3 year extension. That's probably the most you want to go with Tony Pollard. Pollard wants more than that. That doesn't make sense for the Cowboys, no matter how good he may be. And I don't want to say running backs are a dime a dozen, but they are easier to attain and cheaper to attain. The cheapest position, basically, outside of the special teams is running back. So think about those things when you think about throwing all your money in Pollard. When you get somebody similar to Pollard, it may not as good, but for literally 10 times less money. And I think the other big thing of this is, using Pollard. You're getting him no matter what happens. If you let him go, he's getting you can guarantee almost a 3rd round comp pick for him. 3rd round compensatory pick. The Joneses love that stuff. But look, here's the thing. Right now, at the start for one more year, at the Cowboys facility, at least one more year, Pro Bowl, fresh off the Pro Bowl season last year, right? When you look at all this, guys, and you see these two sides meeting, what's the basically the end deal here? Because again, July 17th, the deadline hits, right? The last chance to sign a franchise or transition tagged player to a long-term deal. We know. Here's the final thing I'm going to say about this. We know both sides have touched base with each other. We know that Tony Pollard says he's interested in a long-term deal if they can get something going. The Joneses said they were looking to maybe having a discussion about a long-term deal, but guys, that's as far as they went. Those were the least amount. That's like the most amount of negotiations that have gone on between both sides. So you want my opinion on this? It's pretty simple. It's not going to be very exciting. But Tony Pollard's going to play on the $10.1 million immovable franchise tag this year. And that's that. Now, if you give him a deal of $33 million for 3 years and guarantee, $20 million of it, I'm just throwing out numbers. Tony Pollard, then this year's hit would go from 10.1 to like $2 million. So you'd save like $8 million. But the Cowboys ain't using that fucking money anyways. So I don't know. The Cowboys might just want to get a year out of him and then move on from there and see how things go. Any thoughts by you, baby? Any thoughts on the chat on Tony Pollard's situation and, going forward?
Real quick, Double R said, sucks because Tony Pollard could have been very good, in my opinion. Cactus G said, mentally, Pollard has to heal. He can't just run scared,
Agreed.
Which, again, at least physically, he should have been ready as of a handful of weeks ago. Right? Yeah, it was right around the May-June timeline.
He was on the field again. We'll say, I'm not saying he's ready to play football, but he was on the field. He was running around on the leg. But yeah, exactly what they said though. Mentally is where that last piece of the puzzle has to go. And I think that he's been there for about, not if he's mentally been there, but he's on the field. He was there at the OTAs. He was there at the mandatory minicamp, and he had some reps. Although most of the time he was on the outside doing the resistance cord stuff and doing some reps out there. But he wasn't really. He had some reps where he did do some running. So he's already just getting the feel of things. Trust me, in training camp, he might not be getting hit, but he'll be running through all the drills or most of the drills, in my opinion. And as we get closer to week 1, I think that's when he will be, maybe a little more into the contact stuff. That's going to be at the end of August, I think. Yep, just to be sure he's okay.
As Modi said it, Pollard is unique. It's difficult to
exactly.
duplicate. Again, in one person, absolutely. Similar to how, again, in other instances when Zeke was out, we needed more than one running back to kind of make up for it, at that same caliber. Pollard is the guy. We touched on this back when we touched on our running back situation a little more, who's going to be the RB2. Kind of said it. It's hard to pick just one when one of these guys alone can't really can only replace part of what Pollard does if something happens to him.
Okay, you said Zeke in the beginning. That's how I was confused. Because you said Zeke.
I said, when we had him, Zeke, a few times he wasn't there or whatever.
Pollard more than did a great job.
Yeah, of course he did, but even outside of that, Zeke was not a guy you could just replace one. The thing about, I agree, but the thing about Pollard that's different is that he is, to me, again, I compare him to Deebo Samuel. Think of Deebo Samuel, but reverse it, right? So Deebo Samuel is a receiver, but he's a wide receiver that plays a lot of running back snaps, right? That's Deebo Samuel. Now reverse that mindset. Tony Pollard's a running back, but he can play receiver snaps. We've seen it. He's done a little bit in the Cowboys in the NFL, but he's done a lot in college in Memphis. So we know in a not a run and shoot, but in a West Coast offense or a Texas Coast offense, that is something we may see. That's where he becomes Deebo Samuel. That's where he becomes much more worth. He's much more worth it than just a running back at that point. And Skeptical Fan, by the way, with an excellent question here with these $2 holler.
A J. Lou 2 on it. What do you say?
Should we play Pollard a little bit in preseason?
I think that's the thing is I think the contact might be only in practice. The Cowboys are iffy on even Dak playing a series. So if he's iffy on it for Dak, Pollard's probably iffy. I will say this, that look, Pollard's a 4-year veteran. I'm sure that in practice he takes some hits. He'll be fine. And I don't know about if you want. I don't know if I even feel comfortable him playing in a game. I
am a little bit in between.
It's a great question.
On one hand, I agree. I think he'll end up getting the MVP treatment now. He is a starter. There's always a handful of starters that get lots of preseason love, but when it comes to the actual preseason games, they don't even hit the field. So I think Pollard will probably be one of those guys, but I do kind of agree with skeptical fans' point of
playing him, getting a little
he
little
kind
weird
of
out
should
there.
play at least like whatever series Dak will play, one singular series. Pollard needs to be out there during that series.
And I agree. Look, if he's able to,
we'll see.
If he's able to, I'm good with that. Because look, by then he should be fully healed. I mean, you're gonna wait. What is going to be between 2 weeks between? I mean, what's 2 weeks? Is it that close? If it's that close to call, I don't know if he's ready for week 1. So I agree with you. If they're gonna play the starters, if they're gonna play Dak, they should play Pollard in that same series. And they're talking about the last game of preseason.
Exactly. Outside of that, I don't see him getting any work, but even I have to admit, it would be nice to see him get just a teeny tiny bit more, just to see a little bit more of like maybe his movement, like some of his, like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Well, the only thing I want to say is what about, and there's no scrimmages, but let me ask a question. What about just in practice, him making his cuts on that foot, taking hits? They will be taking hits.
I guess that is the question. What is it that we want to see if Pollard were to play in a preseason game? Are we looking strictly on the physical side of things? Like, can he physically, does he look the same and stuff like that? And can that same thing that we're looking for be achieved in just a regular Cowboy practice? Because I feel like I'm talking myself out of it again. Like, I feel like some of the things that we want to see from Pollard that make us feel better, like, we know the talent is there. We know the playbook shouldn't be an issue. So if the question is he physically ready to go?
You can see that in practice.
I feel like we could see that in practice.
But that's the thing. 30% is different. He's going to do that in practice too. But against a team that doesn't know anything we're doing and just throwing it in there, it just depends on what the Cowboys want to show. It's a lot of things depending on that. But that's a great question by Skeptical Fan. That's why we got the drops going, guys, because we take your questions and dive deeper.
For the most part, everyone agrees as far as
taking some hits.
Variety, 1 to 2 series, sit them down, said Mike Aldana, and that's pretty much.
I'm good with either of that. Right? 1 or 2 series, that last game, take a couple shots, run a couple plays, make a couple catches. How about that? I think in the open field catching. Even better.
Cactus, you said during the inter-squad scrimmage, that's the only time we're going to see Pollard play. He won't take preseason snaps. Like,
that's what his belief. Right. No, and I'm if they're not going to play Dak for a no injury issue, then they're not going to play Pollard. Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, then it falls on if they play Dak, then I can see them playing Pollard that last game.
So then I would say let's keep that kind of inter-team scrimmage as maybe the baseline for some of the players that we won't be seeing, right? So like Dak or others, And even if we do see them, we know it's maybe only going to be for 1 series. So just something to keep in mind as we're all getting up here. Very, very excited to see them back. Honestly, that's part of it. We just want to see them on the field tearing shit up, right? Right.
Damn right.
So
without question.
Anyway, baby, let's kind of keep it rolling here.
Is that everything from the chat?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're moving a little because I know we did get started a tiny bit later than we wanted to.
Very late. So, oh, shoot.
But yeah, basically, like I said, reading through the comments, it seems like most of the mindset there. Double R did say, just let Tony Pollard sit until the season starts, just in case, because again, the risk of him being hurt in that scenario, I mean, that's it.
Too much of a risk.
So, yeah, too much of a risk, especially because, again, his injury was a bit of a slight freak accident.
Yeah, so, I mean, they never...
in the sense that it wasn't something you would have seen and said, like, oh, someone's going to get hurt from
that. Right.
No,
well, again, it's that type of tackle, that dead weight on your leg tackle, which snaps legs, not just Tony Pollard's. Unfortunately, it happened to Tony. Look, will it happen again with 1 or 2 series? They can't see that happening. Bone heals. It heals stronger. So breaking again, it's not about that. His mental reps and physical, I think you could figure it out in practice. To me, it's the combination of physical reps and all that stuff and the playbook. How does he feel with live stuff going on? Can he get out there and still kind of smoothly fit into this offensive scheme? That's going to be the key. 30% difference. I think we need to see him out there if possible. But again, I'm not surprised if Dak doesn't play and he's fine to go. That means Pollard is not playing. I doubt it. If he does, again, it'd be a couple series. Maybe he'll block. Maybe he'll run a pitch outside or something. I mean, I wouldn't risk too much at that point. But again, he's going to play 2 weeks later. That's the expectation, right? The bigger player, I would say, to worry about when it comes to getting reps and playing week 1 over Tony Pollard by far is Terrence Steele. That's my fear. That's my guy I think is missing week 1. Or I think he's going to be not 100%. We'll see. Let's keep it moving here because Pollard, main thing was the franchise tag. And I think we're all cool with letting him ride 1 more year on it. But, if we get a long-term deal, it's going to be at $10 million or $11 million a year. I don't think Pollard's initially going to want to go for a long-term deal basically on 3 tagged years. Basically, he won't do that. So I think that Pollard's going to look for something more. Cowboys not going to pay it right now. He's going to play on the tag this year, and let's enjoy him while he's here this year. I don't know what happens in the future. I want 6, and I want it this year. Now, baby, we talked about free agency. And what's the name I always keep bringing up in free agency that I say, you guys know in the chat, somebody should put the player down, because I talked about offensive line here. We need that. Okay, we got 3 tackles on the screen: Terrence Steele, Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, and exactly if there's no Terrence Steele, Tyron Smith plays the right tackle, Tyler Smith plays left tackle, and then it comes to the left guard. And who's the left guard I keep talking about all the time? Yeah, you guys know who it is, Dalton Risner. Now, Dalton Risner is from the Denver Broncos. There's actually a video out there of him shoving Ripken when he's on the sideline. He just shoves him like the guy goes flying. Ripken goes flying, the quarterback. So, you can see why they didn't like to keep him on that team. He's a hothead. I'm thinking get him a 1-year deal to get him on this team. And so the question was asked to Brian Broaddus. He kind of knows the background stuff. He knows scouts in the league. And he said he was asked a question by a fan asking what veteran linebacker. I'm saying, do you see the Cowboys adding a veteran linebacker to this group, an injury away from disaster, which, again, we know that the depth at linebacker could be shaky. Brian Broaddus said there's 2 spots he would look at when it comes to free agency: linebacker and running back. So just keep it. Even though the Cowboys, supposedly, they love their running back room, keep an eye on that, is what he said. But in that same tweet, I said, I asked him, what about offensive guard like a Dalton Risner? He's a free agent that played with the Denver Broncos. Brian Broaddus responded to me immediately, and he said, quote, I was hearing from my pro scout buddies that he was done. So Dalton Risner, sounds like he's done not that he's retiring. It sounds
done. Like what exactly do you mean by done? It
sounds like he's severely injured. It's something that he's just lost too much of a step. He lost something from some kind of issue or injury.
Too much tread on the tires, maybe.
He's only been in the league same as Pollard, 4 years. So it's not. He's 27 years old. So this is not an age thing. It's not an injury thing necessarily. He started all 4 years when he was there. I don't think he missed many games, if any. So then this was a strange thing, though, because after hearing that, again, I'm like, okay, I was wondering why he hasn't been signed yet. To me, he's the best guard that's left in this free agency pool right now. Then it was an interesting comment that went off of my comment from Lando Performance. Lando Performance, the last name, Lando. But what is this place? This is where Dalton Risner is rehabbing or working out or getting in shape. This is literally the gym he goes to, or the place he goes to. He said, quote, or they said, this is Lauren Landau wrote this, the owner of Landau Performance Center, which is, again, where he trains and works out. Dalton is not retired. He's been busting his tail in the gym since January. 5 times a week. He is in the best shape of his career. Now, we don't know how true or false that is, but that's from...
Very, very, let's say, opposing statements there, because on one hand, this dude's got, 1 foot in the metaphorical NFL grave, and then on the other hand, he's
in the best shape of his career, which we always hear the best. We always, isn't this a time of year? Best shape of his career. We always hear that. Where's the Tyron Smith part coming out of that? This is Tyron Smith's best shape of his career.
Tyron's in the best shape of his career.
But it's funny, Lauren Landau, she wrote this, and then Brian Broaddus responded with saying this, quote, "Thank you for the update. My thoughts were from the men and women who pick players for these teams. You might want to take that up with them and not a radio guy." Oof, ow. So honestly, Brian Broaddus is basically saying, listen, I'm hearing it from the people that matter, that know, they're not biased. They say they pick the players for teams, and they're saying Dalton Risner is done. And that's a shame. I think it would have helped our team, but it also explains a lot of why, not just the Cowboys, a lot of teams, supposedly nine teams after him for $9 million. It sounds like it's more from his agency that's trying to push that he's good to go, sign him,
So I was just about to say it's a hard one to figure out just a little bit.
Hey, Asmodeus is saying it right. Yeah, someone's lying, and I ain't lying. You know the signs.
So I have to admit, I am a little more inclined to believe, at least partially, Brian Broaddus here, just because, again, what he is saying, and remember, be very specific here, he's saying that this is what teams are feeling. This is a perception from their own scouts
scout teams,
and coaches and front offices and stuff. So what reality is almost doesn't matter. Reisner could be the healthiest guy in the best shape of his life, but if teams do not see that and do not feel he is that, well, he's going to be treated appropriately. So
yeah, and I'm right there with you on that. I do think Brian Burns is saying some truths. I think he's going off the scouts that he knows, and they're trusted scouts, while I think we get in the workout location where Dalton Reisner is at. I mean, obviously he's biased. I mean, obviously there's bias there. And obviously, he's thinking, get this word out. I'm the best shape of my life. Who knows what's going on with him? Listen, if he's okay, get signed. I'd like to see him in Dallas. But if he's got issues, then don't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
So,
in my humble opinion.
By the way, shout out to you, 8 Camel Toes. Much love.
Hey, Camel Toes in the house. 8 Camel Toes.
So... There you go. So,
much love
throwing out there that apparently one of his knees is shot.
Man, that's a shame.
So it does sound like it's more of a health situation than it is anything else. Unfortunate for him, especially considering there's only been a handful of years in the league, like you pointed out. But at least now we know.
4 years.
I'd rather know than to sit here and keep thinking our Cowboys are, basically being dummies.
Yeah, he plays. They actually probably did their due diligence here, the clown show, and. He's playing 3 games. His third game, he blows out his knee. There goes the money. Now we're in real dire straits using a spot up with a guy who's got one leg. So, better we found out now. If this is the case, I understand why. Reisner's now officially off my list, guys. You can hear me stop bitching about him and saying we should sign him. Now, I will say this, though. These guys that I'm going to talk about now are going to help our team in multiple ways, whether it's free agents, whether it's week-by-week game planning with the coaches. And I think you guys know where I'm going here, right? The analytics team. It's computer nerd data science in football, and it's headed by, again, we got 5. We just hired somebody new today again. Yesterday we hired somebody. We hired somebody again today, guys. This whole team is led by John Park, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to cover that up real quick. And then he hired Sarah Malapalli, who's right there from the Ravens, who then, after these two, this is 1 and 2 in command. Boom, we hired this gentleman here, William Britt, 2 days ago. Today, we hired another one, Max Lyons, right there in dead center. It is the United Nations.
That name sounds a little, a little made up, like you asked your 5-year-old to name your little brother, and he's like, Max Lyons.
Yeah, hey, it fits with Micah Parsons, Maximum Lions.
Hey, we have quite a pair of hungry lions on the team.
Yeah, hungry lions on the field and off the field. Look,
they don't eat your face.
Cowboys are working now with Max Lyons as our football data engineer. That's his official title, football data engineer. So what is he going to do? I'll go through this quick, guys. This is a whole new squad. You have a 5th person here. That's the only guy I think that's still left over from the old crew there. Let's put it that. I think he's been in the league for 10 years. But this guy here, who I think's been around for some time and now is back with the Cowboys. Been around for about 10 years, I think, in the league. So here's the thing. He's going to be working closely with the new strategic football operations team. Boom. What's the new team? John Park, William Britt, and Sarah Malapalli. And now we got Max Lyons. So in case you hear these names, the Cowboys are, I said this for the last couple of weeks, have they not been building the analytics team? Again, we don't know these people personally or don't know even much about them, but according to the people that do know these people, this is a top-notch group right here, guys. It's going to help this coaching staff and this team for now and for the future. So this is, again, he basically is going to be working with the new strategic football operation team. He worked with multiple NFL teams a decade ago. Now he's back. So it's a critical role that's going to make an entire data team. What it does is he makes the entire team more productive. Cowboys, I think, personally, and again, whether or not you guys like the moves or not, remember, it's not only analytics, it's just a guide. And I have no problem with more help for the coaching staff for game planning, decision making, all that good stuff. You take the science into you take that into the mix, I think, and you figure out, what works best in those situations, whatever it may be. Whether it's your gut instinct, sometimes it will be. Whether it's more based on the analytic, on a certain situation, maybe it is. So definitely game planning and the way teams do things, you can definitely get a lot of stuff from the analytics and kind of see a trend, from other teams, what they do on offense and defense. So this is the crew that's going to bring it to McCarthy and Quinn and everybody on this team. So again, I'm impressed with the way that I'm proud of Jerry Jones putting money into this side of things where there is no salary cap, right? We can give them $1 billion each, and we can keep giving them billions if they're working out, right? Like kind of like the Dan Quinn situation.
The lunatic cracking me up. He's like, as long as this analytics team won't recommend running 4 curl routes.
Trust me, that's the one thing they're not going to do.
No, that's like at the top of their list, the lunatic.
If I pop Kellen Moore on the screen, I think you get the curl routes in there. But look, the point here I'm trying to say is that the Cowboys are hiring. Their hiring plan is obvious. We're going with the top-notch analytics people that know NFL stuff, that are into the NFL and done it for decades. I've done it for years. I've done it for multiple years with NFL quality teams, right? So, again, guys, this includes we're hearing this. We're seeing this a more robust data infrastructure when it comes to compiling data. This means with this guy, it means we're going to get a lot more numbers piling in here. So the head of this department right there, John Park, he's out here creating a much improved analytics and data collection team for the Dallas Cowboys. This. I don't know if this means anything or not, but here's key, guys. The job listing still remains open for the strategic football analyst. We just signed 3 people. Let me be specific. We hired 2 people that have literally this title. The guy to the left and the guy to the right. The lady to the right of him and the guy to the left of him, of Max Lyons, Malapali, and Britt. Both these people are officially strategic football analysts. We just hired them, and the job opening is still showing us open. This means the Cowboys are still going to hire more analytics for this team to really bolster this crew here. So again, the Cowboys in total have hired officially 5 new data science staffers this offseason. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Cowboys' decision-making tendencies, that's going to be one of the keys here, how that's going to unfold throughout the next couple of years. Not forget about just 1 year. The next couple of years. These people are here for the next who knows how long, and definitely going to be here probably after McCarthy's gone. So do not. I think you're going to see NFL talking heads out there, different networks or wherever it may be, basically seeing the Cowboy analytic team as pushing the envelope farther in the NFL sphere when it comes to these analytics. So I think the Cowboys are going to be at the head or at the top of the group bringing this thing to the next level. That's what a lot of people are saying. So 5-person team so far. Director, John Park. 2 strategic analysts, William Britt and Sarah Malapali. A data engineer right there in the middle of your screen. Of course, the guy who originally was here, I think it was Volke or something like that. He's another guy that's in there. And again, it seems the Cowboys are not yet done, baby. Let's hear from what Max Lyons said, joining the Dallas Cowboys right here, dead center in the middle. What did he say when he posted on Twitter today?
He said, after a 10-year hiatus, I'm excited to announce my return to the NFL as a data engineer for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm excited to combine the knowledge I've acquired as a data professional over the last decade with my love for the game to this unique and special opportunity. I can't wait to get to work with the extremely talented and diverse group of analysts and Cowboys that have already hired this offseason.
Again, whole crew here. Now, John Park then spoke about him afterwards. After that post, he retweeted that. What did he say?
He said, thankful Max Lyons is on board with the Dallas Cowboys. His top tech pedigree matches his eagerness to serve and willing to do what it takes to help the team win. Camp will mark his first in a decade and his 3rd overall. So first with the Eagles, then the Jaguars, and
now with the Cowboys.
Now with the Cowboys.
Hell yeah. So that's who we're getting, guys, in Max Lyons, another new hire in the analytics team. Any quick thoughts from the chat on this?
Let me go back here real quick. Eddie Pulido said Cooks is going to coach the wide receivers this year for sure.
He's already helping. He's already mentoring. We're going to talk about Jalen Tolbert in a minute.
So, let me see here. We also have... Asmodeus said, ex-Broncos offensive lineman Dalton Reisner among best NFL free agents still unsigned.
I hope that you heard why.
So now that we know a little bit more of the behind-the-scenes stuff, not surprising that his team obviously isn't digging any deeper in that because it would be a bad... I'm just saying, it's a bad look for them if they're sitting there claiming, oh, he's good, he's fine, and then you find out he's not.
Yeah, something's up for sure. Whether it's the knee or something worse, look, we got to stay away from him now. Unfortunately, he might be one of the best guys signed, but without that one of his knees, he's not worth anything.
So Cactus D said, what was that comedy football movie that the coach used analytics? Eddie Polillo said Little Giants. I don't know if that...
No. It must have been like Draft Day or something. With Kevin Costner and the Browns? Is that the one you're talking about? I'm just totally guessing here. Who knows if I'm right? But, let me continue this thing, baby, because it's already a late start. I'm trying to make sure we get it cut down here.
Yeah, for sure.
If you guys, again, dropping make sure you guys drop the knowledge in the chat so we can read some of your comments.
Thank you, Skeptical Fan, kicking things off on a more official basis here.
Yeah, that's true. With the $2 holler here, of course, he had gifted membership already. Snug X with the Cash App. Thank you guys rocking here with us for another one. We know we all want that 6 and beyond. Sorry for the late start, though, guys. And those on the replay watching, hit that like, subscribe, the notification bell. You know what to do. We're getting closer and closer to 23 at Michael Jordan, 23,000 family members. So let me kind of go into the offensive side for a minute. We talk about analytics, and this is what's going to guide, I think. We're going to have a guide here for our offense. And when I say this, I'm talking about, mainly for our offense. I'm talking about Dak Prescott, of course, leading this team, but I'm also talking about the offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer. And why do I say that? Well, today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. I think it was today. PFF released again, we saw that Dan Quinn. He was ranked 4th as the top offensive coordinator. Do you think Schottenheimer made the top defensive coordinator? Do you think Schottenheimer made it on this list as an offensive coordinator? On a top 10 list? Top 10 now, offensive coordinator. So,
I mean, tough, but possible, I guess, is the best way I can describe that.
Well, number 1 was Ben Johnson from the Lions. Number 2, Kellen Moore from the Chargers. Bill O'Brien, 3rd for the Patriots. Shane Waldron from the Seahawks. Ken Dorsey from the Bills. 6th, Eric Bieniemy for Washington, of course. Went from Kansas City to Washington. Todd Monken from the Ravens was 7th. Matt Nagy, the Chiefs, 8th. 9th was Jim Bob Cooter from the Colts. And 10th, Brian Schottenheimer.
So do you remember my comment?
Yep, literally right there.
I couldn't have planned that any better if I tried. So
yeah,
there you go. Interesting.
Brian Schottenheimer rated, according to PFF, as the 10th best, not play caller, offensive coordinator. Now, we'll see how that works. I can't judge it yet. I don't know.
If anything, it should work just because, remember, he's being called a great coordinator, not a great play caller. The one who's still calling the plays, like McCarthy is still the one calling the shots. It's just a matter of him executing.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to Brian Schottenheimer, he is known with Seattle to utilize the running backs. And I would say maybe the quicker running backs more than the power running backs. That could be a reason why the Cowboys didn't really... I don't know. I guess it's more of the opposite. I think they went more with a little more bigger, thicker, kind of, bruising kind of running backs than they did would go with the Pollard and Deuce Vaughn types. So I think that's one thing. You got to look at the way he's gonna be more of the run designer. McCarthy's gonna call the plays. He's the run designer. I think the other part that you see someone like Brian Schottenheimer's kind of offensive coordination, kind of come through is with not just the run game but play action in the run game. Why do I say that? Because with Russell Wilson in Seattle, he was very good at using the play. And he didn't have Marshawn Lynch at this point. So he did a very good job in kind of creating separation with the receivers and breaking zones a little bit by doing the play action in a very effective way. That is what I want to see for Dak. I've been saying this for a long time. Under center, not the freaking RPO shit, which is going to be harder to do this year because of the new rule change. Much love to Duke Bothers, who brought that up, and we kind of checked that, and it was true. So you can't do that RPO forward kind of fake handoff stuff anymore. But Dak Prescott with play action under center, turns it around, puts the hand in the tummy of wherever the running back is, pulls it out, and then looks back to throw. That is one of Dak's most efficient play calls in his career. Dak Prescott, and I'm going, this is just last year. His play action rate in 2022 was the second highest of his career. So last year, and he didn't do it as much as I wanted to see it. That's Kellen Moore. But when he did it last year, it worked second best in his whole career. And he's always had great numbers at this. So this is second best. And again, I think we got to work off of that. That's where Schottenheimer will help Dak and this offense. So to me, when you look at, it was basically a 27.2 play action rate was, again, that's the second highest. We were going upticking on his play action stuff. I want to see a bigger jump on that.
So, real quick, let me go ahead and hit up the chat because Double R said, PFF is a joke. I never even pay attention to them, period.
Again, take it as a guide. You should pay attention to them. It does tell you some things. But again, it is a guide. People use it as the answers to their questions. Dak sucks. They show you this analytic. Dak's great. They show you this analytic.
I think
Who
part
cares?
of it, too, is remember,
it's a guide.
Front offices do take some of PFF's numbers seriously. So, keep that in mind as well. Maybe, obviously, you might not consider them as good or reliable or whatever, but teams do make some decisions, at least partially based on some of the numbers they get from them. So, which is kind of a scary thought when you think about it sometimes. But it is what it is, right? So I think, by the way, that movie you were talking about, I'm guessing it was The Longest Yard just because the 3 other people mentioned it there. So let me kind of roll back here.
It's all right. I'm keeping going.
We touched on the points here.
So Dak Prescott, just wanted to finish about his play action rate for a second. When he did this, again, 27.2 per PFF, percent, I guess that's the time, that's how often he's used it, last year. Second most in his career. But here's the key. When he did use it, it improved his passer rating, his big time throw percentage, ADOT numbers, and it reduced his rate of turnover-worthy passes. So basically what I'm trying to say here is not only he did it second most in his career last year, and it worked fantastic. Everything was better when Dak did play action under center. And that is what we need to see. That's what I need to see from Schottenheimer to create these plays that you use the run creatively, which he's good at, and you use play action so you can throw out of the run. That's going to be Schottenheimer's duty. He can do that. He's a top 10 coordinator for our team, and I mean for the NFL. And I do believe that then that would actually make us a top 10 offense this year. I truly believe that if Schottenheimer can give us the top 10 coordinator performance. That's just me. I don't know. Any other quick thoughts on this? If it's not, we'll keep it moving.
Nope, all good. Let's keep it rolling.
So let me click them off here, and we'll keep it moving here. Jalen Tolbert. So, guys, I don't know if you know, number 18, of course, second year in the NFL. He's 6'1", 195 from South Alabama, 24 years old this year, okay? And the main thing I want to say about him is this video. Jalen Tolbert, I know you had a couple of things to say earlier about it. We'll talk about it more in a minute. We'll make sure we see it. But we got a new member here in the Navy Blue crew. Thank you to the man who stays skeptical fan in the house.
Once more, dropping some on-stream love there with that gifted membership. Shout out to you, Seabass. And guys, drop them if you got them.
Man, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he's got 24. 24, I got to fix it now. 24 gifted memberships, yep.
There we go. So, awesome. Again, skeptical fan, the membership man.
Yeah, here you're seeing a slow motion Jalen Tolbert. I hope this works because this is a problem I had before. Now
I will say, it did crack. This video cracked me up a lot. I know I'm supposed to look at this and take it as very serious football practicing going on and stuff. It just looks very funny to me. I'm sorry.
Well, look. So this is an agility ladder. All right. They improve 3 key factors when it comes to fitness and health. They improve speed, agility, and quickness. And listen, it also strengthens joints, ligaments, and tendons. Look what he's doing here. This is the weaker muscles and tendons in his body are getting a good workout. All right, and it definitely here it just stops. And again, it definitely is something that he's been working hard at. A lot of players do. He's not special about it, but it is good to see Jalen Tolbert kicking ass again.
I agree.
So let me see if it works now. Again, slow motion, so you get a little...
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
I wish it would go longer than that. I hope it does. There it goes. So it improves speed and agility. And again, it's called an agility ladder. But you do it in the sand training. You do it in the sand pit. It works better, guys. It's an excellent way to improve your agility and improve your speed. It challenges your muscles. It basically is an automatic resistance. You see him here wearing kind of the band between his legs to keep his feet together, smaller steps. It's another thing of kind of training his body. So improves his quickness, makes him more explosive. I think because of the sand's kind of uneven surface, you got to push and pull a little bit more in the ground. It constantly shifts. This helps engage the small stabilizing muscles in his legs and his feet, right, in his ankles. And I think that is one of the... There he goes again. Pause. I knew. It's going to give you a couple... let me make sure I get him. You guys can see it again here. Slow motion a couple times, little quickies here, and then you'll get the whole video in slow motion. You want the whole full motion? Check out the video. We have it posted already. So, again, this is overall to help those muscles and tendons. It is a very low-impact form of resistance training. And I don't know. To me, again, this is due because of a higher workload, I think, needed in those muscles to change direction, to run, to jump, to accelerate, and that's where it helps them, guys. Again, uneven nature of the sand. Sand training is beneficial for Jalen Tolbert because he is looking to improve his explosive strength and his quickness. So again, if he is, it looks like his goal is to improve his quickness. These are some of the best speed and sand training drills out there. So what does that mean, baby? You let me know. What do you think when it comes to Jalen Tolbert? You want to see my face. You want to see Jalen Tolbert doing the workout.
I mean,
so what do you guys think?
I'm hoping that Tolbert has like the best sophomore season
no
of
sophomore slump, please.
Any recently drafted player.
He had a freshman slump.
Exactly. So honestly, really great to see him putting in the work. And specifically improving on some of the things that obviously maybe left us a little concerned, right? So I really like the fact that he's working on some of his speed and a little bit more of his like specific, more finesse movements, let's call it.
Yeah, the little twitch things, change of direction stuff, and strengthening those muscles, not just the obvious ones, but strengthening the ones that get less utilization, right?
Mm-hmm. So I think it actually kind of fits. I know Dulintic's comment here is about runs in general, but it's a great point. He said, as far as McCarthy calling less plays because of run heavy, Kellen Moore averaged 65 offensive plays last year. His last year in Green Bay, Big Mike averaged around 63.5 offensive plays a game. So it'll be more specifically about doing more with less when it comes to the running game. We're going to call a handful less plays, but it's going to be hopefully more productive, more effective, more efficient. Yeah.
We want efficiency in the run game. That's not what we have with Kellen Moore.
Yeah, so appreciate that, Tricky Nicky. Appreciate everybody here
chilling,
hanging with us.
It's the Acme crew in there hanging in the house. They deal with a lot of my crap. We have fun out there on the other channels, on the Moss channels and other locations. But they know. Appreciate everybody here stopping by, hitting that like. And everybody, I know your other fan bases. You know what you got to say? Go Cowboys! Always. So anyways, you got the Tolbert session. We got another session coming here as we wrap it up. But before I get to that, let's hit the defense. We've been seeing the offense here a lot, talking a lot about the offense coordinator. Not really much about Dak today, more about Schottenheimer, offensive line. We talked about it all. Let's talk about defense and let's talk about safety. Now, again, to me, Jaron Kearse, one of the top safeties in the league. I know Donovan Wilson, highly rated as well. Don't forget Malik Hooker as a free safety. All three guys are in their own position area and position, specifics. I guess you could say box safety, hybrid linebacker, free safety. Those guys are Jaron Kearse is the box hybrid kind of linebacker. Donovan Wilson is more of an all around kind of, and also a box linebacker type of safety. And of course, Malik Hooker plays free safety most of the time. But all three guys can intertwine and move around. And that's what makes us deadly with Dan Quinn at the helm. So I expected to see, we talk about the top 10 list, edge rushers, top 10 list of this, top 10 list of that. Corners we had the other day. They put out the safeties yesterday, I think, or was it today? I don't know. Top 10 safeties in the NFL ranked by executives, players, coaches, and scouts. Number 1 was Minka Fitzpatrick. Derwin James, number 2. Justin Simmons, 3. Budda Baker, 4. Javon Holland, 5. Jesse Bates, the Falcons, 6th. Kevin Byard, 7th. Gaynor Johnson there at the Lions, it was 8th. Hufanga, 9th. Antonio Winfield, 10th. No Cowboys there. Again, you got some honorable mentions. Seahawks, Quandre Diggs. Ravens, Marcus Williams. Patriots, Kyle Duggar. Bills, Jordan Poyer. Micah Hyde, also from the Bills. Giants, Xavier McKinney. And Texans, Jalen Petrie. Where's the Cowboys? I mean, listen, we have one of the top safety crews.
Maybe hiding under a rock somewhere?
top safeties in the NFL. I mean, when you look at them as a room, I'm pretty sure that the J-Ron Kearse, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker trio, I'm pretty sure that's a top 5 trio in the NFL.
Regardless of where they're at, it just feels very disrespectful that they were not anywhere to be found on this list.
Yeah,
you know, like maybe
top 10.
I'm just saying we could maybe argue about their placement if they were somewhere on there, but we can't even have that discussion apparently.
Well, again, listen, this is a ranking list. We know these rankings are just opinions, right? But look, it's more. I saw J-Ron Kearse, I saw Malik Hooker. These guys are out there. Donovan Wilson on Twitter. Not liking it. They saw this as a disrespect. Good. I like that. It's a silly list. But hey, you know what? They were disrespected. It makes them play better. Let's see that. I'm cool with that because this defense is going to play better. And I know our safeties are top-notch in the NFL as a group. So I still think it was disrespectful, but who cares? It's a silly list. The thing is, in the end, that's the top 15 names I just gave you and not one Cowboy. Even though we have a top 5 safety core, safety room. The safeties that received votes but did not make it in the top 10 or the honorable mentions: Tyrann Mathieu from the Saints, Eddie Jackson from the Bears, Jeremy Chin from the Panthers, Justin Reed from the Chiefs, and J-Ron Kearse from the Dallas Cowboys. So basically they're saying he was ranked like 19th, 20th, 16th, whatever. Look, it's a silly list. They were not happy about it. But you know what? If this lights a fire under their ass, and they're obviously upset about this, I mean, we've seen it on Twitter, good. This is a good thing for the defense and another goal to ascend to, right? So I don't know how you feel about it, baby, about the safeties getting disrespected. But
I mean, I already kind of mentioned it earlier. It's one thing for them to maybe be lower on the list than maybe you'd want them to be or you think. But yeah, this is once again another disrespect here being shown to our Dallas Cowboys. I mean, no surprises there, but even I have to admit it's still even more surprising just because it seems like at least nowadays our defense definitely gets the type of respect that I think it has earned these last 2 years. So I guess I want to know where, like, if they made a list from 1 to 32, where the heck would they put the Cowboys then?
Oh, listen, obviously we get J-Ron Kearse. No, as a safety, at 1 to 32, we're like top 5 at safety. But none of our guys are in top 15 individually.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So then, again, how exactly, like I said, where exactly would they put the Cowboys in on their little magic list, I guess?
I mean, look,
but yeah, Deluncic said we have depth at safety also, so the list feels off.
And listen, how many people have 3 safeties they run with? Most teams have 2 if they're lucky. We have 3. Not just that, we got Israel Mukuamu, we got Marquise Bell, even throw a little Tyler Coyle in the mix. I'm just saying we got 6 pretty damn good guys. You know, I know Tyler Coyle is not a starter, but he plays goal line. He plays special teams. He has usage for him as your 6th fucking safety. That's a pretty big deal. And he's usually practice squad. So I'm just saying, like, we have a damn good safety room. I think that's the thing, though. They're all like, they all got an 85%, you know, but they were only going 86% and higher. And we have 3 guys that are in the top 80%, let's say, but they're looking at the top individual guys, and everybody above them supposedly are better. Look, either way, I don't mind that. I don't care. It shows disrespect, and that's something they can feed off of. I'm down with that.
So, let's see here real quick. And again, guys, by the way, excellent points and comments here being brought up. We are getting, starting to head towards the end of the stream here tonight. So take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. Make sure to hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And of course, guys, extra special shout out to the people making MCF happen here. Marco Seppian, mahalo to you. Thank you, Jason Renfro, the Cash App King. And thank you to everyone who's dropped the love tonight so far.
Yeah, don't forget. I mean, Mark.
I had a little hiccup there. Skeptical fan with his membership drops, gifting them.
And he's also first place on the overall board. The overall board on the Cash App side is Snug X.
Ooh, you know it.
And Marco Seppi, I know you say he's sponsor of the week, but he's also the stream boss with 95 points. Mm-hmm. So he's got to shout out everybody there. Super chatting it, membership gifting, thanks. And of course, these other ways here for that Cash App crownage. So, I guess I'll continue here. Yeah. Rolling us in to the finale, but I do tomorrow you'll be getting another video here from your boy here, MCF, and I have a couple more on the way. Just try to space them out a little bit for this long break. Well, again, less than 2 weeks, guys. It's time. It's time
This long break's almost over,
exactly.
guys. We made it.
Yeah, 5 weeks totally waiting. Now we're 3 weeks in, and we're less than 2 weeks to go. I'm ready. And I just talked about what position, baby? The safety position, right? Defensive backs, right? I mean, you talked about corners, but safeties. That's what we were focusing in today. And you know who was out there doing some defensive back work? Damone Clark. I got proof of it.
There we go.
So you're thinking he's a linebacker, number 33, second year, baby, one of your pet cats last year.
Yes.
We didn't expect him to play. He played. Neck fusion, good to go. Listen, what you're seeing here is you're probably wondering like where is he at right now? Why is he doing a linebacker class? No, guys, he's at. You guys know Ryan Clark, right? Ryan Clark is an analyst on TV. Ryan Clark, he is the founder of DB Precision, and he basically helps defensive backs in coverage and teaching them and training them. So when I look at Damone Clark, he's working with a defensive backs coach, Ryan Clark, but it's his school or training camp, training facility. What does that mean? I mean, you see out there, you're seeing Damone Clark out there in coverage. I wish the video was better, guys. I apologize. It's a fucked up machine. But the point is, Damone Clark is out there getting work, doing defensive back drills. DB drills here at DB Precision with the Ryan Clark there. He's looking to take that second-year leap in the starting lineup. And if he needs to, the one thing you could say he was kind of missing was the pass coverage side of his game, because he was solid taking over for Anthony Barr. He was solid helping out LVE for everything that was kind of rushed in there as a rookie with the neck issue. Man, he played above and beyond, and it kind of played like that second-round pick that we heard he was supposed to be like. We saw that last year. So what is going to be this year? I thought this year he'd be our starter, and guess what? He is our starter. But that's what I'm saying. He's not doing his tackling or gap stopping stuff. He's practicing and honing in on his coverage skills. And here he gets the interception. But again, he's working on turning and moving around. So again, guys, if he does that, I mean, if he can get better in the pass coverage, remember, we have guys in there like Jabril Cox, who's there just for pass coverage at linebacker. You got guys that play hybrid like J-Ron Curse that can cover as a hybrid linebacker from the safety spot. And then you got guys in there like DeMarvion Overshown, who's a kind of, started his career at safety in college and then became a linebacker and a damn good one. But again, these guys have that coverage kind of hint to them and the ability to kind of stay with tight ends and slot guys, but also can drop down in the box, provide run support. And that's what, we know Damone Clark can do that. He's shown that already. But he's trying to get himself back to, not back to, but get to that next level when it comes to pass coverage. So, you got to remember, baby, offenses, when it comes to our defense, opposing offenses are going to try to spread us out, weaken us inside. If LVE can man the middle, and I think the key there is Mozzie Smith and Jonathan Hankins, but if LVE can handle the inside there, our linebackers, like I just mentioned, specifically, Damone Clark, will be floating around the outside now, be able to do a lot more kind of messing up the passing lanes. Let me put it that way. What do I mean by that? There's not going to be a lot of man-to-man coverage by our linebackers. It's not going to be a lot of man coverage. It's going to be a lot of zone coverage and clogging up the space to force quarterbacks like Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, others to make mistakes, think long enough. They either make mistakes, they'll think too long, and then we get the pass rush hitting them, making them throw a bad pass, getting a sack. So that's the situation. These linebackers are there to just to provide, haze and blur for the passing lanes for quarterbacks. And I think that's where if LV can just kind of man the middle with the nose tackle, then I think we can kind of, Damone Clark can do both run support and help in coverage. Yeah. Not the man-to-man stuff, the zone stuff, which will help our overall defense, especially if we can stop, the running game. Which, again, I got to reiterate, if you remember, let's go back to Damone Clark, because I believe Damone Clark this year, like Sam Williams, is our breakout candidates for this season, into the second season for them. And we just talked about Jalen Tolbert. I don't know about a breakout season, but again, these are second-year guys. We talk about second-year expectations, second-year kind of plans here for these guys. Well, we're talking about a lot of second-year guys that were just rookies last season. So Damone Clark, I believe, can have a real breakout season in his second year. Why? First and foremost, guys, he's a fifth-rounder. Remember that. Fifth-round rookie. Played almost 400 snaps. Played 398 snaps on defense last year. 35% of the snaps after week 8, when he started playing more often, and Barr kind of got hurt there. So, again, you go to this past season, his rookie year, he had 44 tackles, 27 solo tackles, 17 assisted tackles. He forced 2 fumbles. And when you look at the grades amongst all linebackers, PFF grades, 37th out of 81 linebackers in the NFL. Fantastic for a rookie who wasn't even supposed to play last year. He did not also, he didn't register a single missed tackle. He didn't miss any tackles last year, stopping the run. So, again, another thing to hang his hat on here going into his second year. And all these things put together, he was rated as the highest rated rookie linebacker of the entire draft last season. Out of every linebacker, he was number 1 as a rookie. That's insane. And a guy, again, let me reiterate, he was not supposed to play a snap last year. In those games that he played, when he played 30 or more snaps, the Cowboys ended up being 8 wins and 4 losses. In 12 games, he played 30 or more snaps, and we won 8 of those games. Now, competition has a lot to do with it, but he had good games as well. And by the way, 5 games he played out there, 5 of his games out of those 12 games, 5 of those games he played with Jonathan Hankins, who was playing 1 tech at nose tackle. In those 5 games, Damone Clark, here, not practicing his coverage, Damone Clark had 16 tackles in those 5 games, 6 solo, 9 assisted tackles. He forced a fumble, and he had 2 stuff plays, which were tackles behind the line of scrimmage, basically. That's what you get with Damone Clark. When you have a solid defensive tackle, you're going to get similar stuff when you get, LVE in there. And I'm looking forward to see what Damone Clark's doing. I'm really happy to see this guy, I think, going to blossom and break out in year 2 at linebacker. Any thoughts on him, baby, since he was your pet cat?
I honestly, at this point, give him the full Dan Quinn treatment. And by that, I mean, he is the type of player that I think has the potential to do more than maybe the box that he's been put in now. So let's just continue to develop him. But yeah, I mean, if Dan Quinn can find even more creative ways of using him, absolutely. So yeah, Clark remains one of my more exciting players to watch heading into the season. That hasn't changed. I was super excited by what he did last year. I'm even more excited about what he's going to give this year, especially considering the tweaks we've made to the D-line. Every single linebacker is going to look like a superstar, and I am so here for that. They're all
going to look better because we have Mozzie Smith and Jonathan Hankins back, and Mozzie Smith is a rookie. That's going to help all these guys.
Yeah, I honestly, with the defense that as of now seems so strong and feels like it will be when we hit week 1 and all that, so prepared. I mean, if anything, like, my bigger concern is, can our offense match that hype? No. Because I'm just saying, that was one of our bigger kind of issues last year. Lots of combinations, lots of reasons, but yes. Yeah, so, still throwing out there also, hopefully Jabril Cox shows up this year. We're counting on quite a few guys.
We're counting on Cox
to wake up a little bit.
I'm waiting for some of those jokes to start in the chat. I see Tricky Nicky in there. Swarton in there. What's up? He's part of the membership.
Oh, let me see. Cracking me up there. Cactus D. So, by the way, as far as Agent Zero, I was going to comment on that and want to interrupt you, but I think as of now, no Cowboy player has technically officially claimed it.
J-Ron Curse claimed it, then backtracked on it, kept number 27.
Price tag that might have been attached to it. It
sounds like it cost too much to replace all those jerseys. You have to buy every single jersey that's number 27 out there. Not that there's many, but it's enough. His $5 million ain't going to, he's got to give up $1 million. He ain't giving up 20% just to change a number. So I think that Agent Zero is going to maybe be eventually Marvin Overshone, who's been called that his whole career in college. He's a rookie, though. He'll be the first Zero in Cowboy history. So you got to give it to the right guy. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So, let me see. Christian E. throwing out there, I've heard they plan on using Overshone all over. We included a strong safety. Does he see the field without injury this year?
That's a great question. I do think he'll see some snaps. I'm hopeful he sees some snaps and in our actual defense, not just like he'll definitely be in some defensive sets and personnel settings. So I don't know about goal line, or maybe he will be utilized as a safety on goal line just to bring in bigger hitters. But I think it really depends how he does in training camp. Will he earn snaps that way? That's the key. If he does not, he'll be a rotation guy once in a while. I think injury is probably the best way for him to get on the field. Will he be ready? I don't know. But Damone Clark was ready. We'll see if Overshone, again, has that same ability and potential. I'm looking more at the second-year guys like Sam Williams and Damone Clark to kind of pick up a little bit more of the heavy lifting. And if that happens, I think that actually does help DeMarvin Overshown to get more snaps and be more effective on the field and look better as a rookie, right?
Mm-hmm. So, let me see. Lunatic also throwing out there, I'll take quiet domination off the field by our defense. Let the run hit and talk shit on the field.
Damn right. That's what I'm down with. Now, the last part of this night, baby, it's your favorite thing, special teams. Woo. I just want to say something real quick about our special teams coach. And again, two things today, just special teams coach and our kicker, our new kicker, which is always a topic of a fun discussion here. But let me just start off with John Fossil. His nickname is Bones. The Cowboys blew away the NFL in pressuring opponents' punts, meaning he brought pressure and caused shaky punts by opposing teams there, giving us very good field position for our offense. So this is major. When it comes to defensive punt pressure last season, Cowboys, of course, were number one. On 71 punts, we had 14 pressures on 71 punts and 1 block. That's a 19.7% pressure rate. The next closest team were the Raiders with 12.5%. It's a major drop-off there.
It's a big drop.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys by far, they had 56 punts to block and blocked 1 and had only 7 pressures. The Washington Commanders had forced 87 punts, 10 pressures, but no blocks. Again, guys, at 11.5%. I keep going down the list, but they just get into the single digits. So my point is, 19.7% of the punts last year, Bones brought the pressure. 1 block. That's number 1 in the NFL, the pressure rate, guys. I love Fossil going aggressive. I just don't want any stupid, any big. We've seen the idiot Fossil sometimes get a little too aggressive, and then a guy runs into the punter, and then we give up a first down. Those are killer. It killed us a couple times 2 years ago, I think, more so than last year. But I love the aggressiveness. It definitely puts a strain on the punter, which then helps our offense when that 2 out of 6 times that ball is shanked. That's a good thing. It's going to help us on a couple of drives every couple of weeks. So I like it. Now, also remember, the guy who's blocking the punts, he's got a couple blocks already. Dorrance Armstrong, who's our starter at the edge for now. Dorrance Armstrong, guys, not getting enough credit for being a star special teams player. And he has, 3 blocks, I think, in his career, a touchdown recovery. It's crazy. So, again, even with our, I guess you could say Dorrance Armstrong, even though he had 7-8 sacks last year, still kind of like he's not really a major player on our team in the sense that we got DeMarcus Lawrence, we got Micah Parsons, Sam Williams. These guys all play a position, getting a Fowler back in the mix. And, of course, you got Dorrance Armstrong, who's our literal starter on rundowns for sure. So, now, that's the special teams, baby. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's good to see our defense, not our defense, but our special teams really get pressure on opposing punters.
On that. Honestly, it's kind of funny just because I would not have assumed our special teams was that good at that. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I think Bones maybe doesn't get enough credit for the consistency that he's been able to provide at special teams. We've seen a lot less mistakes.
In the beginning, it was a lot of mistakes, though, but they definitely got better.
Again, I feel like it's partially growing pains, partially I think that they also have found personnel that I think fits better across the board, right? Like you said, that first year especially was a little rough, but after that, again,
and
we're
Zerline,
still trending
of course, that wasn't
positively, and I do think right now we have a great balance of guys that contribute in a bunch of different little ways, but also still have some growth and potential in all of it, right?
Well, look who's in the house, swirting with that $10 holler, the drop of the night. And by the way, now I think we're good now, I think, Swerton. I think we're all up to speed on things. Appreciate you, brother. Part of the membership now, the $10 holler.
If I know Swerton, I know he said go Cowboys.
Hell yeah, he did.
Thank you, Swerton. They just put some emojis. So.
Okay, all right. Well, he's fourth. He's representing Dak, 4th place on the leaderboard. But I appreciate you, Swerton, as always. Go Cowboys. I know he's a Denver Bronco fan, but, he's trying to give us Dalton Reisner, so I'm saying go Cowboys. I just say keep it nice.
So, and Fernando Rodriguez, again, the Cowboys, I don't think have any interest in signing Any kind of veteran kicker. The guy we have right now is, I think, the guy that has to fuck up enough to lose the job.
And again, I think that's the last part of this thing is kicking, right? The kicker. And that's all I just wanted to say, kind of interesting little note today that I found on my own. Didn't want to infringe on John Carney. You guys know John Carney? Now, look, first and foremost, not sure where this kicking video was taking place, but we've already watched this multiple times. He put this out just the other day, 3 for 3 from 60 yards, all 3 60-yard kicks here. He made them. Is that a wider goalpost? Maybe. I don't care. Like I said multiple times, this is about him being able to have the leg. That was my big, that's the biggest concern is he able to hit longer field goals? Because in the USFL, he played soccer his whole life. Great soccer player as far as career-wise. 2 years in the MLS, then went to the USFL for 2 years. Basically, never missed a field goal closer than 49 yards. But anything over 50, he had 2 of them over 50, 0 for 2. So here, 3 for 3 from 60 in practice, just on the field. No pressure, no rush, no fans. This is one of the videos. Now, the other video, again, I don't want to infringe on John Carney, but he has a training, consulting, coaching kind of facility, right? A company where he helps coach and get these kickers, better and ready for the NFL. John Carney, we all know John Carney, played with a lot of different teams, Super Bowl kicker. But he had Brandon Aubrey, our kicker here, about I think maybe 8 months ago in this facility. And I was watching this video, guys, and I'll tell you, I'm reporting back. I'm scouting, okay? Because only like 300 people watch this video, so not many people have seen this. But Brandon Aubrey, not this video, the one I'm talking about. Brandon Aubrey, guys, he was kicking field goals from 40, 45, and 50 yards. They had him set up, and he kicked it from each of those distances. I mean, it looked very easy. I mean, this almost looks easy, but he's hitting them pretty straight down the middle, close enough there. But every kick he kicked that was 40 yards, 45 yards, 50 yards, I saw it with my own 2 eyes splitting the uprights. The guy is consistent. The guy is accurate. Strong leg? Question mark. But we know this for sure. Now, they didn't show anything past 50 yards when it comes to his kicks on that video. Here you're seeing 2 out of the 3 kicks going 60 yards. Now, that's the big knock on him. Anything over 50, he can't make it. But the truth is that the Birmingham Stallions in the USFL, they had him kick like 10 times, 12 times his rookie year in 2021. In 2022, he kicked, I think, maybe 17 times. Just my point is that he only had like 30 kicks in 2 years. I mean, we got kickers that get that in one season, in half a season, sometimes not half a season, but again, so he was very underused, but his stability and consistency is fantastic. Now the only thing again is the length of the kicks, the strength in his leg. And again, he made all 3 field goals, not just here, 60 yards out, but in the other video I saw from 40 yards, 45 yards, and 50 yards. So he looked pretty consistent. The other thing, and maybe what have I brought up here about this kicker is kickoffs. If he has a weak leg.
Yeah, we weren't sure if he would have the juice to get the kickoffs done in the way that they need to be done.
Which would be knocking them right out the end zone.
Yeah.
You don't want them to return it. Well,
I thought that was kind of
I'm clarifying because some people don't know all the football lingo in there. So you want to get the football out of the end zone. There's no kickoff return. That's the key. So the Cowboys have prided themselves in doing that a lot with Maher, who had a very strong leg. Now, again, in this other video that I have, I'm seeing the kickoff average for Brandon Aubrey, 77 yards on kickoffs. Now, you're kicking from the 35. That sends the ball out of the end zone. And I saw with my own 2 eyes, multiple kicks out of the end zone, 9 yards back or out of the end zone, 9 yards back into the, back from the goal line. So again, the hang time, 4.24 seconds of hang time. Don't really need a return if it's getting out of the end zone. So I believe, here's my final assessment, because my biggest worry was his strength of his leg. Seeing these kicks here, which obviously he's reaching 60 yards or a little over it, getting over the crossbar. We know he's accurate from within 50. If you need if it's a 53-yard kick and it's for the end of the half, or if it's for the end of the game, I don't have to be so afraid. I think if he earns the starting kicking role, I don't have to be as worried. Is he going to miss this long one because he doesn't have a strong leg? He does have a strong enough leg to hit 3 from 3 and 60 yards to get a 77-yard kickoff average. So I feel better about his kickoffs. I feel better about the 50-yard plus kicks. I don't want to see it being done all the time, but when you need to do it, 55, 57, end of a half, end of a game, you can still not shit the bed and say there's no way we can make it or go for it on fourth down. You at least have a chance to put up points. Will he make it? Probably not as often from that distance as Maher. But you know what he will do? Anything inside of 50, he's going to make a lot better than Maher. And that's what I care about. And if that is enough to McCarthy and company on offense to hey, you know what? Let's not kick the field goals too long. Let's go for it on 4th and 3 rather than kick the field goal. Good. Don't kick a 55-yard field goal. And it's 4th and 3. You're in your opponent's territory already. Go for it. We got a good enough offense. Maybe that's going to be part of the analytics this year. Go for that goddamn play unless it's 50 yards or under. Then you can think about kicking it. Outside of that, we're going for it or punting. That's that. That's the way I see it. How do you guys see this out there?
Let me see. Real quick, first of all, have a great night, Skeptical fan. Take it easy.
Much love, Skeptical. Thank you for the love. And he's in first place on the overall board and the membership gifting lead.
So the only comment here, Cactus G said, fair catch rule this season, just the ball at the 25.
Again, but a lot of teams, when you get that, if you kick it short, if that ball gets kicked off to the 10, every team will run it out proudly. I don't think they're going to even take a knee. I mean, no matter what you do, if you get the ball on a short kickoff and you get it at the 10, you're going to get past the 25 easily and a chance to run it back. So you'll see teams not take, I think, a knee on that one. But yeah, on punts, different story. Punts, I see a lot of people taking that knee and fair catching it, taking the knee, and then getting the ball on the 25. That's on punts, yes. On kickoffs, you get that ball on the 10, you could take a knee, but you get the ball on the 10. Every single NFL special teams coach will tell you, run that ball out of there. Run it out and run it fast.
So, let me see. Yeah, double R, by the way, not a fan of that rule. So
yeah, me neither. Get used to it, guys.
I am not a fan, but I guess I'm a little bit more open-minded than maybe. I
don't like it. It changes the game in a lot of ways.
But yeah, personally, not a fan. I still feel like there's a few other compromises that you can make on the special team side of things to keep the game moving, flowing, keep things going, keep injuries, from happening.
I think the best thing for the Cowboys to do is practice that coffin corner punt. You punt that ball just directly out of bounds and aim it so that it lands inside the 10. And I mean land, it don't land. If it lands, they fair catch it and they get the ball on the 25. But you let it go out of bounds completely. You don't even let it bounce. You kick it out of bounds completely. You just kick it right out of bounds, but you kick it. You got to practice this. It's a coffin corner kind of. You kick it so it goes out of bounds within the 10-yard line. So the ball goes completely over everyone's head out of bounds on the left or right side of the field. But wherever it is last time in the field of play is where it hits on the sideline. And so that's the way it will be done. I think that's the best way for the Cowboys. And again, this affects the Cowboys defense. Because if we miss on that, that's 25 yards or a whole bunch of yards that you're now picking up and you're getting out from the back of your end zone. With the Cowboys would love nothing better than to punt the ball. Put that field position back there on the 5 and now deal with our defense. It's a whole different story. Whole different story.
So, yeah, Asmodeus said, just know your kicker's strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. Go for it. If it's 53 yards, don't play, just go for it. But if you feel like it's the end of the half, or you feel like you can feel more comfortable, then, hey, you know what? End of the game, you definitely can feel more comfortable with him knowing that you can occasionally make a 60-yarder, I guess.
And DeLunatic saying, with this defense, punt, pin them deep, and let our defense give our offense some great field position.
I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. It's almost analytically and statistically proven. It is. You think running the ball is going to rest your defense more and help your defense? You know what helps your defense the most? Much more than that, running the ball on offense. Punting the ball inside, in a good field position for your defense, in a bad field position for the opposing offense. If you can pin a team back, that's the biggest and best way to help your defense. Much better than running the ball and quote unquote resting your defense. Pinning them back is the best way of helping your defense. And if you're at home, oh yeah, it gets louder. This defense ain't going to take no prisoners this year. Keep that in mind, and you're going to see, I think, the repercussions of that. When we punt, and Anger can nail that. Brian Anger can knock that ball somewhere inside the 10. Whoo-wee! I'm telling you, defense is coming to a town near you.
Yes. So, and again, guys.
Big D.
This show. I almost said something. I stopped myself there.
This D.
I was going to say this big D, but then I stopped. I'm like, wait, no. But no.
Off the rails.
We here at OCF do have to call it a night. But first, before we do, have to give the love and the appreciation, yes. Those helping us do this.
Hell yeah.
Bringing you guys the MCF on the daily, the nightly, soon enough, once again. But thank you very much, yes. Sponsor of the week, Mark Hovsepian.
Hell yeah.
Bossing that stream around, by the way, with 85 points as well. So some tight end representation tonight.
I'm trying to think, who is number 85 on our team?
I don't know, but that number...
It was Noah Brown.
To me, that number is a tight end number.
It was Noah Brown last year.
Representing the tight ends.
Yeah, most receivers have the teens numbers there now, so it's changed.
Outside of that, Jason Renfro, of course, the Cash App King.
Don't forget, he's repping it here with that winning jersey from a year or two ago.
Yes, he is.
Jason Renfro's a Cash App crown holder right now. Trying to go for another one, right? I think he's, back-to-back? Is he? I think so. But I know right now someone's standing in his way, baby. Snug X.
You know it.
Snug
Dropping
X.
the love on the Cash App side.
Yeah, he's got the lead there. And on the overall board, as you said, it's the gifting membership leader, Skeptical Fan, who's still in first place on the overall board. Appreciate everybody who's dropped the love. Thank you guys for celebrating our 6 years plus now on YouTube. We want 6. But not just on YouTube. We want 6 Super Bowls and beyond. That's what it's about here in MCF, baby. It's time for those shout-outs, I think. I don't know if did you do them already? I don't know if you...
Not quite,
let's hit them up. And any good comments, make sure you hit them up with that as well. Hit them up!
So, The Lunatic, much love, who said, as far as kicker, if he has Maher-type issues, bring in all the available replacements, and we might not have the same kicker week 1 or week 16. Like, we're just we're revamping it.
The thing is, look, Vizcaino's going to fight Aubrey. Aubrey should win this. He's the expected winner. I still would bring in a Mason Crosby or Robbie Gold, but the Cowboys won't. And if Aubrey looks good in training camp and preseason games, then he'll be the starter, and we'll see the real test, when the pressure's on in the season. As far as Mason Crosby and Gold, I don't see any problem bringing either of those guys in there and letting them all just throw it in the mix. Mm-hmm. But front office ain't going to do it. They're going to run with their kicking ways of picking these guys, and Let's hope Aubrey's the answer.
Wish luck to all of us here in that case. So, but yes, thank you to Lunatic, Double R, Cactus G, in the place to be. Rolando Rodriguez, much love. Asmodeus representing. We have Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical.
Always.
Tricky Nicky, Jamar Chason, Sad Cowboy Fan.
Gotta love some of these names.
Sortin.
Swert with the drop of the
Tommy
night.
Montoya, much love. Snug X, you know why.
Oh, actually, Snug X was the drop of the night, truly. But that's Cash App, not on the screen.
We have, who else? Dave Walker, much love. The Lunatic, of course.
Dave in the house.
Christian E, hello and hi.
A lot of new faces tonight chilling with us.
That's actually as far back as I can go. So, they come back down. We have Frame Rippers in the house as well.
Yes. By the way, Frame Rippers won that shirt, so we got to send that out to him, baby. We haven't, Frame Rippers, Voodoo.
I'm waiting I'm kind of fingers crossed, hoping that Burn Bar reaches out to us so I can mail out the hat and the shirt.
He actually sent me, I think he's sending us a text. So, we had, I don't know if, I didn't see it though, so Burn Bar, if you're out there, resend. No, text. He was sending us a text. Mosh.
Gotcha.
So he through there.
All right, so if you okay, so then perfect. So we'll
get to it eventually. At least we're going the right direction with Burn Bar, getting that to him. Much love to Skeptical Fan for providing both of those fantastic prizes and gifts. So appreciate him as he's the gifting master out here. Rolando Rodriguez here, Frame Rippers, Voodoo, the Lunatic, Double R, and on like Donkey Kong, Asmodeus. Everyone here, guys. Skeptical Fan cannot do this without your love and support. But now I ask you, baby, a very simple question. Why do we do this here in MCF every single day of the week?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we're repping that star over everything right here in MCF. Never forget, 6 years and beyond on YouTube here on My Cowboys Family. Never, ever dare forget the number one thing here, now and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond, and 7, and 8, and 9. Thank you all for rocking in the chat all night long. All night.
That's double digits.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for rocking with us in the chat. Truly dropping your knowledge, your thoughts. That's how we keep it going, mixing it up. Appreciate that. Also, much love to those drops of love from above, from all sides of the NFL fan base. But, of course, Skeptical Fan keeping it skeptical. Always repping that star over everything, along with Snug X. You know why he's here, though. And, of course, Swertin in the house. Bronco fans showing the love. So, again, appreciate all you guys dropping the love. The board above reflects your drops Mark still got 85, but he's sponsor of the week. Jason's got that Cash App crown, but you got SnugX in the way there. Skeptical trying to take over. We'll see what happens the rest of this week. Should be back tomorrow on a Fan Friday, the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll have a little cool little Saturday chill down because you know what, just a relaxing stream without any kind of not really a drinking stream, but we'll see. We'll talk about it because Saturday's a nice relaxing day. We like to chill.
Maybe something a little more between. Not quite one of those, but a little bit something more fun. MCF and chill flavor.
Yeah, maybe a little beer pong. I'm joking. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, guys, just join us every day because you never know what's going to happen. But you know what definitely is happening every single day on this channel? We're always talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So, again, guys, this tonight's show, thank you guys for the great comments about the show tonight. But it has to come to an end as we get ready to clock out and drop out of here for the night. Relock and reload for Fan Friday tomorrow and this weekend. Baby, before we can drop out officially for the night, what do we got to do here?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. The beat's been dropped. It's a wrap here. The little VTubers bouncing around. Guys, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And remind every single Eagle fan you ever meet, it's easy. It's basic mathematics no matter where you are on this planet, this universe. Remind every Eagle fan, 5 is always greater than 1. And the Eagles freaking suck. Cry, Eagles, cry. Keep it going. You know how we're flowing. You know how we do here on My Cowboys Family. Thank you for joining us for another Cowboys chat on the nightly. We try to do it on the nightly, guys. We talked about our second-year guys here, like Damone Clark, number 33, linebacker. Like wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver, trying to get that 4th spot solidified. Him and Simi going to fight it out in training camp. Pollard, Dak wants him here. It's that tag money. No extension yet. We got till Monday. We'll see. Don't hold your breath, though. Of course, Schottenheimer, top-ranked, one of the top 10 offensive coordinators. Let's see him coordinate. And McCarthy play call. It might just work. We'll know better from the analytics from this guy down at the bottom, with the balding guy over there. We talked about another analytics hire. We talked about a lot tonight here in a short time. Here in MCF, where it's always about that navy blue, that silver too. You know it. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even the haters in the back. Appreciate you all, guys. Hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, follow us on Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff. But of course, thank you all for rocking with us. Stay safe, have a good night, peace, and never ever forget, Go Cowboys!